Hello my beautiful people, welcome to your midpoint magic and madness into the multiverse video with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So as you can see, I've got my trusty notes here. So at this point, probably slightly before when you're watching this, but at this point we are in the eclipse portal. Once we've had the first eclipse, which will be a solar eclipse in the sign of Taurus, and then we are heading towards that powerful lunar eclipse that's going to be in the sign of Scorpio. So as you know by now, they work in tandem, they work in pairs. And the reason I wanted to put this video out is because over the last 6-7 years, if you search my YouTube history, you'll probably be able to find some of the very first ones of these that I did many years ago at this point. Cringe. And so what I've observed over the last 6 to 7 years is that the midpoint between eclipses, right? So this year it's going to be on the 8th of May. The midpoint between eclipses is what I call the magic and the madness. So I'm going to delve into this. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless all of my decks and my session with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So as of the 8th of May, we are going to be in between eclipses for real, like for real, for real. This is where we're in that midpoint. So on the 8th of May, we've got literally like, you know, that we're heading towards the next eclipse. Now, in between eclipses, it tends to be a little bit of a weird sort of energy. It can be quite nebulous, a little bit floaty, a little bit flighty. So if you experience anything like that, a part of the reason is because at this point, none of the energies are truly settled. So this is said to be the eclipse portal. This is also a time at which the veil between the worlds, this world and the other, whether you believe in one or not, is thinnest, right? So this is a powerful point of this year. If there is any psychic work that you want to do, if there is any you know, if there's any other worldly connections or work that you would like to do, this may be a good time to do so. Anything where you're needing to pierce the veil is good for this moment in time because it's thinner. So this means that you're not allowed, but it's easier for you to break through. So if you've got loved ones that you want to contact or, you know, petitions that you want to do, this might be a time to do so. That being said, like I said, it is a very odd time. It's kind of like, you know, that weird period where you're kind of like not on holiday, but you're waiting to go on holiday, but you haven't quite made it. Like it's one of those really weird in between times. So as I've put here, things can get a little weird at this point, and this is why I call it the midpoint between the magic and the madness. And the reason I've said that this is into the multiverse, there's a reason for this. So here we're going to get glimpses of what the solar eclipse in Taurus has brought in for us. And then we're going to also get a glimpse of what that Scorpio lunar eclipse is going to phase out for us. So the magic is what's coming in, the madness is what's going out. It's what we're supposed to be letting go of or releasing. And because we're at that midpoint, it's like being able to have an eye on the future and an eye on the past at the same time. Because we're between worlds, we can have one foot in this realm and one foot in the other realm. So we might get glimpses and hints here as to what the Taurus, the solar eclipse in Taurus has set into motion for us. It might be a whisper, it might be something that somebody keeps saying, like a recurring phrase, or maybe you keep seeing the same picture, maybe the same symbol keeps coming up for you, maybe you keep having a dream. That again is a point for you to pay attention to. You might also get glimpses of what is about to be leaving your life. Now obviously in the astrology videos for the eclipses, I will have talked about this stuff in detail and at length, so make sure you check those out so that you can get a deeper understanding of how this is going to work for you. This is specifically about this sort of midpoint in that moment, and because we're able to look at the, you know, what's coming in, so the future and the past at the same time, this is why I've called it the multiverse, because technically we're in between. So we haven't fully come out of where we were for that solar eclipse, and we haven't fully entered into where we're going to be with the lunar eclipse and vice versa, right? So it's all kind of a bit of a jumble, hence the multiverse. That being said, did you know that here in the UK, and then so here in the UK, it's the 5th of May, and in the US, it's on the 6th of May, Doctor Strange 2 Into the Multiverse is released at this point of the year, in between eclipses, when we are between the midpoint of magic and madness. Do you think that is a coincidence? No fucking way. I don't believe in coincidences. And the fact that this film is coming out at this point, when I saw it, I was like, that's their release date? Somebody knows something. I don't believe in coincidences. You guys know me. So what I've put here as well is in your dreams, in your emotions, and in your mind's eye and your energy system, in the multiverse of you, because we're all multifaceted beings, right? We're not just a mind, we're not just a body, we're not just a culture, we're not just a race, we're not just a sexuality, we're a million things rolled into one. So each person that we encounter is their own multiverse. So it's really important to, on these specific levels, pay attention this week, especially around that 8th of May or on the 8th of May. That's a Sunday. So if you can, make this a day of observance and of reverence. Really take a minute to see what and who is in your life at this moment in time. What are the trends and themes that are working through you? And what are the emotions that are coming up? Pay attention to your mind, your body, your spirit, and your energy. These 4 aspects of self are going to be really telling as to what's coming in for you at the moment. Now, in all aspects of self, I've put here, spend just a minute contemplating what has shifted, what is going on with you in your mind. How have your thoughts changed? What are they pulled towards? You know, with your body, what do you feel like? And this happens for all of us at various times. You know, sometimes your body will literally reject certain things that you eat, etc. This might be a time where something like that is happening for you, especially if this is, say, a 6th house activation for you. So each aspect of these is linked to something and someone else, sometimes many someone else's, and then there are infinite strings and threads to infinite wisdom and beings in the universe. So right now is a time to be here, be present, so that you can be aware of all of the things that are connecting to you. This also might be a time where taking a peek into yourself at all of these points could grant glimpses into things that have only sort of kind of danced on the edges of your consciousness, and you know, maybe they've made themselves known, but you haven't really paid attention because you weren't entirely sure if it was the, do you know what I mean? Like, this is you really figuring out, okay, this is what's going on. This is likely to be where this is taking me. So your magic, this with the solar eclipse, this is about what's blooming within you that you can help. This is what's ushered in with the solar eclipse. Whereas your madness, this is what you're releasing, what you're letting go of, because it's no longer a part of who you're going to be. So this is where, I've put here, this is where your work can be done over this next week, right? So you're really ushering in what the eclipse, the solar eclipse has brought in for you in Taurus. And this is you doing the work of releasing, so that when that lunar eclipse, in Scorpio hits, you can literally just say, okay, you know what, I am done with that, and I let it go, so that when the event itself takes place, you're already in that flow of energy and you're already aware of how this stuff is showing up for you. So with that said, my cards are blessed. We're going to get you, for each sign, you're going to get one card, one destiny card, one direction card, just to kind of have a look, see what's going on with you. So for Aries, your main card is the Magician. All right, so this is beautiful. In a lot of ways, this solar eclipse in Taurus is really trying to heighten your experience of how you see yourself in the world. And it's also asking you to think about how you can create what you truly want. I mean, hello, it's the Magician in the magic sector. So this is really getting you to think about how you can rise up the ranks, and how maybe you need to see yourself in much better stead. Maybe you're having to value and care for yourself in a much bigger way. And on top of that, you've got that 8 of Cups. So in a lot of ways, I feel like this is you releasing or letting go of the narrative that other people have sold to you about who you are. So this is a point at which you get to really turn around and say, you know what, that may have been who I was at one point, but it's no longer who I am. For your madness cards, what are you releasing or letting go of? you have the Hermit card. So where is it that you have had to stand on your own for yourself? Where is it that maybe, just maybe, you've tried to go it alone too much? This may be a time where joining with others or connecting with others could be the best path forward for you, especially into getting what it is that you're really wanting for your life now. On top of that, you've got the Six of Pentacles. This is really, I think the message here is, it's like the madness or the thing that you're letting go of at the moment. This idea that you have to be all things to all people and that you have to literally go it all alone. This is about you releasing that now and saying, okay, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, bringing other people into the mix is the right way for me to go. This is also a release of some very old, if not past life karma for a lot of you. With that said, let's get into Taurus. All right, so for my dear Taurians, this is a big deal for you, right? Because this is first house, seventh house stuff. So really, really big deal. So what is the magic? Where is the magic coming in for you because of this eclipse? You have the Strength card. So this could literally be like in your physical body, like in your physical being. This could be all about the way that you present on that physical level. The Strength card is also you having the courage maybe to do something that you've never done before, or to do it in a very different way that goes against the grain in some way. And you've got this with the King of Swords. This is about really utilizing your mind-body intelligence, right? The reason I say that, the King of Swords is your mind. The Strength card is your body. So this is about building a stronger sense of a mind-body connection, how you really see and view yourself on that material level, and how that feeds directly into how your mind works on certain things or issues. For your madness, you are releasing the Magician card. So what is the Magician in its negative aspect? It is the trickster. So this could be where you're letting go of maybe some of the lies that you've told yourself, maybe where you've convinced yourself that you have to be the big I am, or that you have to always be in control or always have the answer. This could be a time where you're letting that go and really freeing it up. So you're not seeing yourself through a distorted image anymore, especially look at that, right? Building that mind-body connection. And you've got this with the Ace of Wands, right? So does this mean you're releasing the good stuff if you get good cards in this area? No, it means that you're releasing the... So what is the Ace of Wands, let's say, in its more unconscious energies? It would be overdoing it. It would be overindulgence. It would be over-identification with the material realm. It would also be rash actions. So in a lot of ways, this could be the end of you, or releasing of you having to charge into things and like, no, I will save you. I've got all the answers. I've got it all figured out. And then after, you're like, oh my gosh, I need a rest for a week because I've burnt myself out trying to do too much. Interesting. All right, for the Geminis in the hezzy, let's have a look what's going on for you, my dear Geminis. So what's coming in for you is, ooh, okay, that card seems to want out. All right, so the High Priestess. In a lot of ways, this is, I mean, it's funny, if you've been with me long enough, recently you'll have seen Gemini has been on this crazy spiritual kick for a while now, and some of it's been really powerful stuff. This looks like not only a revelation of some kind, but this is also a heightening of your psychic skills. In some way, shape or form, this is also, for some of you, what's coming in is a realization or the gathering or gaining of information that you didn't have before that now suddenly makes everything else come together. This kind of feels like you found your own Rosetta Stone, you know, like it's going to be interesting. And then on top of that, you've got the Eight of Swords. This is for a lot of you where you're choosing to get very dedicated to something, and maybe you're not talking about this just yet. Maybe you're saying, okay, you know what? I want to be dedicated to what I'm doing. I want to make sure that this is the right thing. So in order to do it, I'm not going to do the Gemini usual thing where I talk about it all the time. I'm just going to build it and then keep moving forward. Nice. For your madness, you are releasing the Hanged Man. So this is very, very interesting because both of these majors are very spiritual cards. This one is about hidden wisdom, And this one is about stillness, and sometimes it can also be about martyrdom. So this could be a time where you are deciding to stop selling yourself short. This is a moment at which you're kind of saying, you know what, I think I've done enough. I think I've given enough. On top of that, you have the Empress card. This is, quite frankly, for a lot of you, so one of the reasons being the Empress card is number 3. The Hanged Man is number 12. 1 and 2 gives you 3. 2 3s here. That's a calming energy or influence. And the Hanged Man in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck is hanging from a Tau tree or a Tau cross, is said to be the umbilical cord from the pregnant or fertile energy of the Empress. This tells me that your madness, or the thing that you're releasing, is a project of some sort that has either come to nothing, or you know now, like you realized, you know what, this is a moot point, it's too much time, it's too much energy, it's too much effort, too much money. This is not something that I'm going to pursue because the results are not going to be worth the effort. For you, my dear Cancerians, let's have a look what you've got. Put these here. I hope you're enjoying the new, well, it's not the new format, it's just something completely different. For you, my dear Cancerians, what is the magic? The magic is the Death card. This is about release. It's about being really honest with yourself about what you're ready to let go of and what you're ready to phase out. Because it is the Death card as well, this sees you really being in the energy of transformation. So your magic right now is your ability to let go of old things, old hurts, old wounds, old ties that bind. I think in a lot of ways, this could be where you are retiring something from your life on a very conscious level. And this comes up with your 3 of Swords. So this, coupled with the 3 of Swords, the Death card with the 3 of Swords, is one of the true signatures for material or physical death. However, this could also be that your superpower or your magic at this moment in time is being able to let something go that maybe once previously you would never have been able to release. This could be a friendship, it could be a partnership, a relationship, it could even be a job that you've done for X amounts of years. This really feels for me like it's your magic, or what's coming in for you is this ability to relieve yourself of something even when you thought you couldn't. It might not seem very magical, but actually it really is, especially because Cancerians have a tendency to cling to what is comfortable. For your madness, what are you releasing? You are also releasing the Magician card. So where it is that you've told yourself a story about having to be everything to everyone, you are letting that go now. It may also be a time at which you are letting go of a narrative or a story that you have allowed yourself to be told or told yourself. Remember that Magician card in its sort of negative energy can be trickster energy, but it can also be megalomaniac. This might be a time where you're letting go of the need to collect or hoard things, you know, items, clothes, money, whatever it might be. And with that, you've got the Ace of Cups. So this is, I mean, the fact that you're letting go of the Ace of Cups, this is letting go of old emotional states that have fed into really unhealthy or potentially quite challenging thought forms. So wherever it is that your emotions have got the better of you, you're releasing that now. And your madness, it's like you're letting go of this idea that, you know, my heart is so big and so therefore I have to bear the brunt of all of it. You really don't. For you, my dear Leos, my ascendant brothers and sisters, let's have a look. What is this midpoint magic and madness got in store for us? All right, we get the Hierophant card. So in a lot of ways, this is really, so this eclipse, or rather this midpoint magic and madness, what you've allowed to come in is the Hierophant card. Interestingly enough, this eclipse for you is happening in the 10th house. So this is all to do with your career, your social status, how you are a part of or represent your own established self. The Hierophant card could literally be a new partner, a new job of some kind, but it really feels like on a more personal level, this is about you establishing a new sense of inner scaffolding that allows you to be or do a certain way. For clarification on that, the Nine of Cups. All right, look at this, right? So for some of you, if you have wanted to find a partner or connect with somebody on that heart space level, this suggests that you're finding somebody that could potentially lead to marriage. Very, very possible, because the Hierophant card literally represents traditional commitments. So this is really nice. For others of you, this could be a profound sense of healing, or it could also be an establishing of yourself in a way that you never thought possible. For your madness, what are you releasing or letting go of at this moment in time? You are releasing the Death card, right? So you're letting go of the challenges, but you're also letting go of whatever the toxic elements are. This is about you being able to purge right now what you know needs to go. This is also a moment of really deep self-honesty and possibly even self-reflection. And with this, you've got the Strength card. So don't panic. This isn't, oh my gosh, Leos are now going to die. It's not that at all. This is about letting go of a very outdated or outmoded version of yourself. How you've been seen up until this moment, how you have looked. For some of you, this might be a big image change that's about to happen. So you're releasing this idea of, well, this is how I look, so this is how I have to dress, or this is how people know me, so this is how I have to act. There's an old version of you that is now being stripped away and laid bare. For you, my dear Virgoans, you have, ooh, exciting. I'm actually really loving this. All right, so for you, dear Virgo, you have the Strength card as well. So this eclipse has brought in for you a wonderful sense of performance of life, right? And what do I mean by that? It's allowing you to be more present. So the magic right now is that you're really having this embodied experience in your life, but you're ready to go after things, or even to present yourself to the world in a way that you've never done before. This is about a moment of really following your heart and saying, okay, you know what? I actually feel like I've always wanted to try my hand at this. You've got this with the Nine of Swords. So honestly, I think the magic that's coming in for you is a releasing of literally like your worry about what people are saying about what you do. This is where other people's thoughts and opinions, and maybe even your own self-critical energies, are being lessened in some way. What's releasing is the World card. So for some of you, this could literally be a place, a home, a community, maybe a group association of some sort that you've had up until now. Could be going away or being let go of. This comes up with the Five of Swords. So this could be a dispute or an old challenge of some sort that has been sort of on your mind, or maybe something that's been recurring. This is also, for a lot of you, a change in what you believe your mastery is. So I kind of feel like this is almost a moment where you're saying, you know what, I've been known for this up until now, but I'm actually wanting to go off or branch out into a really much bigger or different arena. For your, it could also be the end of an old argument. Libra. You have the World card, or the universe, in this deck. So in a lot of ways, this could literally be a moment at which the world opens up for you, and also where you start to realize just how powerful, or how much of the power really lies in your hands for shaping things into the way that you want them to be. This comes up with the Ten of Wands. This is not only a release of burdens card, but it's also a card of movement and or travel at times. So this could be some sort of long distance travel or connection that comes in. For some of you, this could be a change of or a reconnection to a community of some sort that really speaks to you. I love this. It's really interesting how they all seem to be a bit of a progression of what's going on. So for your madness, you're releasing the Wheel of Fortune. So this idea that it's all up to the fates, that it's all it's like you're taking everything in hand and you're releasing this idea that it's all down to luck. Well, I only got that position because, you know, I knew the person or one of the people that worked there, or, you know, I wouldn't have had this success if it wasn't for ... Or maybe even the reason nothing ever works out for me is because the universe doesn't want it to. This is you letting go of this idea that luck controls things. And with the Two of Swords here, this is a powerful excuse me, it's a powerful moment of recognition, right? So this is, in effect, I kind of feel like what you're letting go of is the idea that it's about luck. And this really feels like in a lot of ways it's going to see you tapping into the flow of synchronicity. Not just abundance, but tapping into the flow of synchronicity is better than tapping into the flow of abundance. Abundance is about an excess of everything, which is wonderful. But tapping into the flow of synchronicity means that you can pull to you the things that you need, or the situations or the opportunities that you need in order to create more of everything, which is very exciting. For your you, my dear Scorpios, you have the Moon card, right? So this magic for you is about integrating your past. It's about bringing into the present all of the lessons that you've learned. I kind of feel like this is a spiritual consolidation in a sense. So it's bringing everything to the fore, but in a way that you can actually use, in a way that is practically applicable to your life at this moment in time. And because it's the Moon card as well, this magic energy, or this eclipse energy of the Taurus solar eclipse, this is about you releasing your fear. This is about becoming fearless and conquering your, you know, or presenting your bravest self. And you've got this with the Magician card. If there were ever a time to do some sort of new moon solar eclipse ritual, I would definitely say this might be the point at which to do it. So put your mind energy into it on the day of the eclipse, but make the action steps on the 8th of May. For your madness, what are you releasing or letting go of around that eclipse that's going to be taking place in your first house? You have the Chariot card. So what do I say about this? It's about conquering an aspect of self, right? Yes, it's victory and success, but this is about what you're releasing. And in a lot of ways, this tells me that you're letting go of the need to rush. You're letting go of the feeling or the need of saying like, oh, you know, I've only got a certain amount of time. It has to be now. It's like that. Okay. That place that you can convince yourself that your time is running out. This is you realizing that it really isn't. With the World card, this is literally world travel. So one of the things that you might be letting go of, it doesn't mean that you're never going to travel again. This might be for some of you that travel plans don't go ahead at this moment in time, and it may also be that you are discovering a new community of some sort, but this would be on a physical level. So maybe this is considering a move, etc. For you, my dear Saggies, you have the Universe card. So the World card has been very active for this, which tells me that we will see some, and I talked about this in a couple of the videos that I recorded, I think for May, and also some of the ones for March. I do feel like this eclipse is going to bring some sort of earth or geological event up, and I wonder if this is why the World card is so active at the moment. For you on a personal level though, Saggies, this is you looking further afield, and it's actually you kind of asking yourself, what is it now, right? This is where moments and hints and tips about where you're supposed to be going from here on in will be showing up. You've got this with the Strength card. This is conquering and mastering your body. This could be a time where your own understanding of the reality and the nature of reality around your physical self could really become evident. So this could be a time where you really master something about your physical self. This is You know, maybe you reach a new level in your training if you do some sort of weight training. Maybe you reach a new level of mastery in your dance if you're a dancer. This is, you know, you're really like, that whole thing about mind-body connection really speaks to me here. But it's like whatever you're doing on the physical plane or the physical level, you're taking this to a completely new level, right? And it's like a total level up on the physical plane, which for some of you could just be as simple as healing. For your madness, you have the Hanged Man. Okay, so in a lot of ways, this is going to see you letting go of some of the dreams and the fantasies. I think this is going to be a moment of pure honesty where you're saying, okay, you know what, that's a really nice ideal. It's not something that's likely to happen because I'm not really putting anything into it. I actually feel like this is a moment where you're getting really clear on where you are showing up for yourself and where you're not. And you've got this with the Six of Wands. So it's like as soon as you do, you know, things start to move for you. But this is also a reminder that sometimes in order to have the big things happen, we have to stop playing small, all right? Because that Six of Wands, it's got a day-to-day kind of feel to it. And with the Hanged Man here, it's almost like you're now being sort of made aware that you can't complain about something not doing well if you're not making it big. After all, you are a Sagittarius. For you, my dear Cappies, Capricorn, you have the Hermit card, right? So in a lot of ways, the Hermit, wrong one. In a lot of ways, the Hermit is about withdrawing from the world. But I actually feel like this is you pulling yourself out of a situation that you don't feel resonates with you or serves you anymore. This is about you saying, yes, you know what, that new direction is calling. And in order to do so, or in order to take that new opportunity, I'm going to have to go where I've never been before. This is a powerful moment of realization. And you've got this with the Six of Cups. Some of you are literally treading memory lane as a result of this magic. So for some of you, this could be going back to an old career or an old workplace. For some of you, this could be reconnecting with an old partner. For some of you, this could literally just be reconnecting with an old friend. But the magic that's coming in for you at the moment is a realization that maybe some of your hopes, dreams, and goals from the past actually have a chance of succeeding now. They can become something real. They can become something tangible as long as you're willing to go into that space. This is very much behind the scenes kind of energy, so it'll be interesting to see what the comments are from the Cappies on this. Ooh, okay. For your madness, you have the Temperance card. So this is really you letting go of the drama. For a lot of Capricorns, this is going to be a moment at which you kind of say, Capricorns tend to be quite low drama anyway. I mean, don't get me wrong, when you want to get into it, you'll get into it. But this kind of feels like a lot of you are just saying, you know what? I'm done with being sucked into and pulled into stuff that just doesn't really get me or doesn't allow me to express myself honestly. You've got this with the Seven of Swords. This, even though it's not the High Priestess or anything like that, this feels to me like a piece of information that comes to you that is a final piece of the puzzle. And I kind of feel in a lot of ways this is about you seeing how somebody has viewed you up until now, or maybe a piece of information that's been held back from you. And it's almost like with that Temperance card, rather than kind of, you know, get into all of that, it's just like, you know what? For once, I'm going to squash this before it even becomes a thing, and I'm just not even going to get into it. This feels to me like you're wiping your hands with something. All right, for wrong set. You, my dear Aquarians, my Aquarius sun sign brothers and sisters, you have the Star card. Yes, of course you do. So in a lot of ways, the magic that's coming in here is about you refining and defining your soul through your future, through your soul purpose. So this isn't about like, oh, now you're suddenly going to realize what you're supposed to be doing. It's more a case of you're now refining the plans that you've already set into motion. That Star card is a glimpse into the future, and our sign is the sign that is literally concerned with the future and all things that are coming in. So your magic right now is rest and joy and connection to the cosmos and the universe, about the things that you've already set into motion and how they're going to serve the wider whole or the world in some way. And this comes up with the Four of Cups. So don't be surprised if the things that you need or the connections that you would like are closer at hand. They might show up for you very synchronistically. With that Star card as well, I almost want to say to a lot of the Aquarians, this might be a time to recognize and realize that it might just be a time to recognize and realize that actually you've already laid the foundations that you needed, and so therefore that melancholy that you feel is because you've forgotten to look closer to home. The Madness, you've got the Sun card. The Sun card doesn't have any dire meanings or reversals, so it's just kind of tells to me that this will be an easy process of releasing your madness. What is your madness? Your madness is what is no longer you, what is no longer true, and you've got this with the Nine of Swords. So I will say around this lunar eclipse in Scorpio, it might be hard to sleep. I will also say that this may very well be a time where you realize that being in your head is actually doing more harm than good. So yeah, this could be you finally getting off of that mouse wheel where you tend to beat yourselves up, Aquarius. Trust me, I know. Right, for you, last but not least, by ever, my dear Pisces, you have... Ooh, you got the Death card, right? So what is coming in for you is an understanding that your deepest desires and wants, no matter how far-reaching or taboo they might be, that you can have them and that it's okay for you to want them. If this is, you know what, I want to be filthy rich. I like to say squeaky rich because, you know, nobody wants to be filthy in any way. Well, outside of the bedroom, darling. All jokes aside, like this could literally be you tapping into your truest energy of desire and being okay with what is in that space. For this, you have the Ten of Cups. Look at that. So for some of you, it looks like your deepest desire centers around having a happy, healthy, and wealthy home. Whatever that means to you, maybe in a really wealthy area, maybe it's, you know, I want a second home or a holiday home. It's like what the magic is, it's about you allowing yourself to have your desires and not judging yourself for them. And then your madness, what are you releasing? What are you letting go of that is no longer you? You have the Magician card. So there's been quite a lot of the Magician card in the Madness, right? So this is really a lot of signs seem to be letting go of this shadow self or this shadow side that has convinced them that they're wrong or that they're bad or that they're all the rest of it. And the truest way to do that is to integrate them. And there's no better time than this, the midpoint between the magic and the madness, to integrate the light half and shadow half of yourself. And you have this with the Three of Pentacles. So for some of you, this might be a time where you're letting go of some form of study, some form of learning. For some of you, this might be stopping short. It could also be as well, for a select few of you, this might be a time at which you let go of the need to ignore somebody because of the source. What I mean by this is this person could have given you, someone could have given you really good advice, but because you don't like them, you've had a fallout with them, you don't trust them, whatever, you're like, oh, well, you know, I'm going to do the complete opposite because of who you are. This could be you letting go of that need to shoot yourself in the foot, or as we say here, to cut your nose off to spite your face. With that said, I wish you all an abundance of all of that good stuff. Remember, you're in the thick of it now. You're in the midpoint. Pay attention to the mind, the body, and the spirit, and your energy. Even if it's only just for like 1 minute that you check in, do a system scan on all 4 of those levels of yourself. This is you truly tapping into the multiverse of you. And then from that, you're going to start to understand the strings that are attached to you that maybe are now being formed and the ones that now need to be let go of and cut out. And like I said, because you're at this midpoint, this is where you can truly and seamlessly blend your lighter half and your darker half. Allowing yourself to integrate your shadow with your light is some of the most wholesome and abundant making work you will ever do in your entire life, because when you're allowing yourself to have your desires and not judge yourself for them, it leaves you open to put all of your energy into creating those things and actually making them happen. With that said, I wish you all an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments, do you love it? Do you loathe it? How does it speak to you? Take care, and I'll see you soon.